Welcome back to another episode of Suiting Up Varsity's Want to Start a Fight series, where we take a look at an individual high school and ask ourselves the question, well, who was the best athlete ever there? We threw all our list of high schools in the random generator again, and we came up with one pretty close to here and pretty close to me, you'll find out. And that's the Alda Bulldogs of Hall County, located on Highway 30 between Grand Island and Wood River. Alda was open till 1957. They wore red and white. I recently visited the schoolhouse, which is now a private residence, with a lot of golden retrievers running around. I wish I had some footage of those golden retrievers. Alda is now a part of the Wood River Rural High School District. That was a Class C creation in 1969. Alda actually closed in 1957. Now, Alda is one of those small schools where you're not going to go to the state basketball tournament history, even though basketball was kind of their number one sport. You're not going to go to the state track history and find their greatest athletes because they just were never big enough to compete at that level. You're going to have to look at county tournaments, conference tournaments, district tournaments. Alda's biggest conference was the Central Nebraska Conference that they played in the 50s with Giltner, Trumbull, Phillips, Donovan, Chapman, Marquette, and Hordeville. And that was a conference that didn't play football. They played fall baseball. Basketball was their big deal, and then they ran some track. So we're going to talk about the Alda athletes who rose to the top in those kind of competitions. Okay, let's start in 1938. Alda is in the Class D district in Class C district. Class C district, because C is the smallest, in Hastings that year. And they get maybe the biggest win in school history. In the semifinals, they upset St. Cecilia 17-10. And that was big. That was big for them. And then in the final, they meet Coles from Webster County, just south of me here. And Coles beats them. So they lose in the district final. But Alda's star that year was Alvin Denman. I know him as Chick Denman at family reunions because he is let's see if I can get this right. He's my great-grandfather's cousin's kid. So he is my third cousin once removed. All right. And so Alvin Chick Denman is our first candidate for Alda GOAT. Okay, our next candidate's a couple years later, 1940. Now Alda's over in the district in Kearney. Okay, and they make a run at a district title again. A district title would be a huge thing in Alda, and we're going to find they always fall just short. But in 1940, they beat Hazard, and they beat Chapman, and they get to the final against Sumner. Bigger school, a lot of athletic tradition in Sumner, and they lose that final. But the Kearney Hub calls Alda's best player an all-around star of the first water. That's a pretty good quote. And that star was Jack Denman. Okay, so Alvin Denman, now Jack Denman. I was related to Alvin. Jack's my grandpa. That's my mom's dad. Okay, and so he had a big tournament over there. And so Jack Denman becomes our second Alda GOAT candidate. For our next two candidates, we're going to jump ahead a decade. We're going to go to 1951. Probably 51 or 52. If you're arguing for Alda's best teams ever, 51 and 52 are going to be it. The stars in 51 are Richard Albertson, a senior, and Bob Schneider, a junior. Now, they're playing in Class D districts, okay? 16-team Class D district. So, getting to the state tournament in those days, as a Class D team, you would have had to win those 4 games to get through that 16-team bracket. Then you're going to get dumped into a 4-team regional. So you're talking about winning 6 games just to get to Lincoln, okay? Boy, we have lots of teams get there by winning 1 game now. Now, I know they have to have regular season success, but the 1 game is it. Not quite the same deal. Alda runs through Juniata, Lawrence, and Eckley. The Juniata game was especially down to the wire. Richard Albertson hits some free throws there to win that one. Then they run into Trumbull in the district final. This is over in Hastings again, and they're ahead. They're ahead in the 4th quarter. They didn't cut down nets in that era, I don't think, but man, they were leaning on the cutting down nets. Trumbull makes a comeback, ties it with a last-second shot. the Bearcats beat Alda in overtime. But those two stars, Richard Albertson and Bob Schneider, are pretty good GOAT candidates. Now, Schneider comes back as a senior, and he's going to lead them to 13 wins. Now, they don't make a district final that year, but they're in the semifinals of the Central Nebraska, of the Hall County tournament, which getting to the semis of that is a big deal for Alda, and in the semis of districts. So you could make an argument that Schneider's 52 team is the best team. All right, one last candidate. The next year, 1953, Dick Hawk, he was actually on that 52 team, and honestly probably on the 51 team, though I can't swear by it. Dick Hawk goes to the Central Nebraska track meet and wins the shot put. And that's the only conference track championship I know of in Alda history. So that puts Dick Hawk up there right away. Okay, when it comes down to it, we got Chick Denman in 38. We got my grandpa Jack Denman in 40. We've got Richard Albertson in 51, Bob Schneider in 52, and Dick Hawk in 53. That's a pretty good five. Maybe we could go with them as the Alda starting five. But I think for the greatest athlete, I'm going to go with class of 52, Bob Schneider. He scored 234 points that year, set an all-time Alda record. Like I said, he led them to 13 wins, which was the all-time win. I'm going with Bob Schneider as my greatest Alda Bulldog of all time. Okay, thanks for joining me here in my wife's flower garden for another episode of Want to Start a Fight. Suiting Up Varsity, we're continuing to run our website, suitingupvarsity.org. We've got our Patreon. Go searching for us there. The Twitter feed's still going strong. And we'll get some podcasts done a little bit, though we've kind of sent our energy towards these videos. But we thank you all for watching.